Hello again. Sorry it is so late. It's taken this long to get a chance to do this, and it may be more like this on off. It was Keswick Hustings tonight, and I'm just stunned. It was such a good event. Just as good as Hustings could be. All the key candidates from the parties were there, and one of the independents was there too. And everybody spoke. They got out from behind their literature. They spoke at length about what really motivates them and about the issues that they're passionate about. And it was so good. It was so real compared with the leaflets. And the audience were hugely respectful. A really, really genuine audience. Sometimes at Hustings, you just get a few people supporting each of the candidates who've come with them. And of course, nobody's going to change their minds. But this was Keswick Community Hustings. And a lot of the people there were floating voters, and they were getting to ask about whatever they wanted to ask about. So thank you to the minister who organised that, and to all the people who helped. There were people with roving mics and a sound system, and people doing tea and coffee. And gosh, it matters so much. Hi guys, nice to see you still here so late. Yeah. Whitehaven, tomorrow night. This should be a mega event. There should be so many of you there. It was so many people in Keswick. Hopefully you see my photo down below. Yeah, please share the video. Thank you for sharing the video. Keswick, it should be chocker, and you should be proud of democracy, because remember the success regime consultations where so many of you turned up. That was important. This is more important. You are going to choose the person who is going to be fighting for you. And I tell you what, do you remember at those success regime consultations at the URC church, where we'll be tomorrow, where I was asking the people up on stage whether they would make the tough decisions if it meant losing their jobs, and they were like, oh. Tell you what, your candidates, I'm sure I'm not the only one who would chuck their job immediately if that's what it took to make the difference. So there are people there. That's all of us standing there, trying to do our best for you, standing up, being counted, taking the flak. Come and engage with us and have fun and ask whatever you want to ask of your parliamentary candidates. Hi, Stephen. Thank you for sharing the video. Please share it onto Lib Dem pages for anyone who's still up this late on a Sunday night, so you should not be up, go to bed. So, yeah, democracy in action. When I was chatting to Sarah Olney, she was saying that in Richmond Park it was chaos, and they had like momentum, people mooing to shut up the other so that candidates couldn't be heard. It was not like that. We have such a proud tradition of hustings in West Cumbria. Yay. It's just, and we learn from each other. All of those candidates have got reasons for standing that they want to talk about, that they just don't get through the leaflets. And we want to hear each other and listen and learn from each other. Because at the end of the day, whoever becomes MP has got to work with the other political parties. So it's only by connecting in this way and listening to and responding to each other that we get the chance to get to know each other, rather than being stuck behind the literature. So hugely proud of that. Other big news, Ed Davey is coming tomorrow. So there is an event. If anyone would like to ask Ed Davey anything about, yep, keep the questions coming, thank you, anything about energy policy, climate change, anything else that Ed Davey does, he is an absolute guru. Please come and ask. You can come in person to the Keswick Quaker meeting rooms at 3 o'clock. They are opposite booths, and they've got their own car park, or you can park in booths, pay and display if necessary. You go into that car park, it's just opposite the car park, 3 till 4 tomorrow. And then 4:30 we will do a Facebook Live, and you can ask him your questions by Facebook as well, hopefully to reach more people. Sorry it's not the best time, but the key thing tomorrow is hustings at the URC in Whitehaven. Get yourselves along. It's going to be a fantastic event. The candidates are really warmed up, and they are much better live. They're much more real. You can really understand them and get to the heart of what motivates them. Right, let's have a little look at the questions. What were the main concerns really, really challenging and interesting variety of questions. There were questions like, how will you ensure peace and stability in Europe after Brexit? Or what are your concerns that Brexit will, do you have any concerns that Brexit will damage peace and stability? So I got to talk about how we've resolved the kind of conflicts that come with democracies, parallel democracies, how we resolved the conflict after the BSE crisis using the procedures in place from the EU, and how I'm worried about how that will work when we've not got them. And various people want to point gunboats at each other instead. You take for granted that peace will just happen. We live in a crowded world full of human beings, some of whom are not brilliant at creating peace, loads of people in a small space. And we need processes and procedures to manage that. And the ones underpinning the EU were very good and they worked. So it was good to chat about that. Flooding in Keswick is a big one. We talked about, people asked about refugees, which was interesting. Really wide variety of local and national issues. And the questions were really constructed in unique and interesting ways. Looking forward to Ed Davey tomorrow. Okay, what time? So 3 o'clock at the Quaker Meeting Rooms for the live event, about 4:30 for the Facebook Live. It might slip. It slipped tonight. It's down to 40 miles an hour most of the way between Keswick and Cockermouth, and the person in front of me was choosing to drive it at 20. Thank you for that one. I can give you a few days between the 21st and the 26th. Can you put me up? What's your closest coach train station? Can I suggest you come on the 21st, the 22nd and the 23rd, Stephen? Because the election's on the 23rd. Send a request to the Virtual HQ, Copeland Lib Dem by-election Virtual HQ Facebook group, and you should be able to get all the information from there. If you don't get through, send me a personal message and I will try and sort that out. Ed did a great job defending NHS services in southwest London. Great. Okay, good. Will someone live stream the Ed Davey Q&A? I don't think so. I think all the people who could do that are at work or... yeah, I think probably not, but we'll do a Facebook Live afterwards. I think that's the best we can do. Have you taken anything useful from the other candidates? Yeah. Yeah, another insight into the Dudden Bridge off the bottom of Millham and how that could help some of the infrastructure issues we've got there. That was good. Yeah, I quite enjoyed listening to the UKIP candidate when she wasn't talking about Brexit, and because she knew quite a lot about NHS funding. We had questions about the PFI initiatives, but it was quite interesting, some of her answers. And yeah, Gillian Shorten, the Labour candidate, she was stepping up and giving good, solid Labour answers with confidence, with some bits of her own take in them, and that was excellent. I'm sure I took something from them. I can't quite remember what though. Did Whitehaven Academy come up? No. Hopefully that will come up tomorrow night. It was Keswick Hustings, so that's fair enough. How many people turned up for the hustings? Quite a few. If you look at the photo I've posted down below in this Facebook group, you get an impression of that. Yeah, lots of people there. It's just great. I hope there will be people hanging out the doors at the URC in Whitehaven at 7:30 tomorrow night. You should be. It will be a great event. Okay, it's late. Sleep well. See you tomorrow on Facebook Live for 4:30 if you possibly can. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching on record, please share the video as well. Bye now.